let's go for it. This is about my 4th time making rolled ice cream, and the last time I did it was months ago, so I'm definitely about to be really rusty. But thankfully, I have Danny next to me to teach me and help me along the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to start chopping up our fruit and our cheesecake pieces into the cream that we poured on top. I learned that the mistake I was making here was that I wasn't using the scrapers together to chop it up. I should have been keeping them close together so it chopped it up really fine. The hardest thing to learn when it comes to rolled ice cream is how to use your less dominant hand. If you watch my right hand, I'm doing fine, but when it comes to time for me to scrape with my left hand, I am struggling. Whenever I start to struggle with learning something or accomplishing a task, I always think back to high school, and I know this is kind of like a dumb thing to bring up right now while I'm making ice cream, but my teacher asked one day, he said, "How do you eat an elephant?" And we all just kind of sat there like, what kind of a question is this? What? And so the answer is 1 bite at a time. And so whenever you face something that's challenging, it may look like a giant elephant, but how do you eat the elephant? 1 bite at a time. So shout out to Mr. Lauerman. I appreciate you teaching me that because I think about that all the time. It's so cool because it's true though. If you look back at your life and think about how far you've come, think about tying your shoes. Every time you tied your shoes, it taught you to the point now you don't have to think about it. You can just tie your shoes. And that's what this is going to be like with me with rolled ice cream. I might be struggling right now, but you'll see in the next few videos that I'm already learning and getting better. There's no reason to feel defeated or discouraged because the more you practice, the better you're going to get at something. Even if it's the smallest bit of progress, progress is progress. So keep going. You're good. Eat the elephant. If you're new here, you probably don't know we play this game, but we play this game in every video where I tell you to throw an emoji down in the comments. So if you haven't guessed it yet, today's emoji is an elephant. Once we finally get all of our ice cream into like a ball, we can go ahead and scrape up all the rest of the stuff that I accidentally messed up and left there. And so once I'm going to get that all into a ball, it's time we can lift it up and then throw it into the corner, and then we're going to spread it out into a rectangle. If you watch closely, you can see that I'm trying to fight my urge to use them like spades at Cold Stone, but I fought those desires well, and I didn't do it quite as much as I wanted to. But now it's time to go ahead and spread it all out. It's interesting when you play with rolled ice cream because every different type of rolled ice cream has different types of toppings in it, so that'll change the consistency of how it rolls out. For example, this one has little chunks of fruit in it, and so that's going to affect the way it is. But it does make it a little easier because the fruit is just watery, so it's just going to add like an iciness to it. Whereas if you use something like Nutella that has like an oil in it, it's going to be a little harder because the oils are going to be a little different than what the ice would be like. Honestly, watching this video now is making me laugh because if you see this, like I'm struggling so hard, and I didn't even notice how bad I was struggling when I first did this, but rewatching it, I can see how bad it is. And it's so cool because I'm so excited for you guys to see the progress, because this should be an extra about 4 inches to the right, but it's just a tiny square instead of a rectangle right now. So we're going to smooth all of our rolled ice cream out, and we're trying to make it into a rectangle. Once it's all smoothed out, you're going to wait for it to not look shiny anymore. It's also called matte. So once it has a matte look to it, it's going to be time for us to go ahead and roll them all up. When you go to roll them up, it's really important you get the right angle of your scraper. I'm not even sure if this is the right angle because I'm just practicing, but if you watch somebody that knows what they're doing, they'll get a perfect angle and then it rolls up so easily every time, and they're nice tight curls, whereas mine are kind of like fat and not very tight at all. A good life hack that I learned from decorating wedding cakes is that you can hide stuff in the back and no one will see it. And you want to do the same thing when it comes to your ice cream rolls. You want to look at them and figure out what side looks best and then hide the ugly side at the bottom of the cup. Make sure all the sides facing up look the best. But if you look at mine here, they all kind of look bad anyway, and so yeah, I can't really hide anything about that. Or so I thought until Danny helped me and he kind of fixed things up and made it look better for me, so thank you, Danny. One thing that I found absolutely fascinating about rolled ice cream is that the surface they use is negative 20 degrees. And the surface that we use at Cold Stone is 16 degrees. So that means there's a 36-degree difference between this surface and the surface that I typically mix ice cream on. That's a big difference. Since all the rolls have been placed into the cup all pretty now, I can go ahead and add some cheesecake bites on top. Then we're going to drizzle some strawberry syrup on that. I had never seen them make this before, so I was just kind of winging it. So I just decided to drizzle it back and forth. I figured that looks kind of cool, right? And then I went the other way as well. Now it's time for the final touch. I don't know if you guys can see all this stuff in the background here, but this place is amazing. They make so many amazing, cool desserts here. And it's family owned and operated by all young adults. Like, I was shocked by all of them. The creativity, the execution of their ideas, like everything is so nice, so amazing. I mean, it's crazy. I can't wait to show you guys all the other cool treats that I made with them. And I just want to say another big thank you to Danny and everyone over at Chocomania Cafe in Sterling Heights, Michigan.